to the cloud.
Islam.
Wow.
Peace and love, everybody.
Islam. I guess I'll do. I'm
What's
Brother
up?
Hasan Ghaziel Bey with Brother. Oh, please, and you are.
Islam. I'm Brother Hasan Bey. We just going over some jurisprudence concepts, AstroCivics.
Indeed. Holy day. Right. Over by breakfast. It's just a breakfast fight.
Okay, so this is in regards to waiving personal jurisdiction. So you don't have to speak on nothing personal, but I'll just give the analogy. If someone were to tell you that because you received correspondence from someone purporting to be whoever they're claiming to be, whether they're claiming to be this court, that court, whatever they're saying they are, and because you received that, and then you then took it upon yourself to, hey, let me let these people know that I'm not a federal agent. So you file something on the record, or you mail something to put someone on notice who may be assuming, right, certain things of you, expecting that you have some type of obligation. You let them know with a writ what it was, and they didn't respond, and then someone says, well, just show up to the court date. Let's see, after reading this, if you would do that. You tell me personally, read this and then tell me, would you show up to a venue after you put them on notice and they didn't respond? I yield.
Islam. It says waiving personal jurisdiction. Personal jurisdiction can generally be waived. Contrast this with subject matter jurisdiction, which cannot be waived. So if the party being sued appears in a court without objecting to the court's lack of personal jurisdiction over it, then the court will assume that the defendant is waiving any challenges to personal jurisdiction. See Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 12B and 2.
So if the party being sued, so if somebody is sending you correspondence saying you're being sued, right, in a certain venue, and then if the party being sued appears in court, so if you were to appear in court without objecting to the court's lack of personal jurisdiction over it, so if you show up and you're just like, I'm here because you guys said, we'll do it, I'm here, what's up? Then the court will assume that the defendant, and defendant is somebody they have jurisdiction over. So you're never the defendant. You're probably the alleged defendant or the defendant in error. They're, in their mind, they're saying is waiving any challenge to personal jurisdiction. So if you just show up and make a general appearance, you're actually giving them personal jurisdiction over your person, to make decisions over your person, to judge your person, to put you through their administrative procedure.
Mm-hmm.
And common sense gonna tell you that anyway. Like you feel that, like showing up. You know you don't want to go, and you going in. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, read the next one because it goes in deeper.
Okay, obtaining personal jurisdiction. Typically, for a court to have personal jurisdiction over a defendant, the plaintiff needs to serve the defendant in the state in which the court sits. And the defendant needs to voluntarily appear in court. Federal Rules of Civil Procedure Rule 4, Section K.
What's a defendant? I'm curious, because I think a defendant can only be a federal agent that's under oath, has a contract under oath.
Right.
Because person, all those are federal agents. I yield.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely correct. A defendant has to be a federal agent because a defendant is someone they have jurisdiction over, and they don't have jurisdiction over anyone who's not a federal agent. So you're not a defendant. They're alleging that you are, you know, and then showing up, you're basically admitting you are.
Exactly.
And so for someone to advise anyone to just show up, I understand that that statement is probably because the person may be dealing in a certain vibration.
Like competence?
No, like a fear vibration. You know, what if I don't show up? What are they gonna do? Wait, what are you gonna do when they try to do one? Imagine saying, you know, you're walking down the street and you're thinking, oh, what if somebody mugs me? What are you gonna do?
Right.
You're gonna run? You're gonna help them rob you? Oh, you know, I got an extra 1,000 in my sock. You forgot to check there. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna tell them that, or you're gonna just, you know what I mean? Like get out that situation as quick as possible. Do what the safest thing in that time, and then get out that situation. You know, we're not saying argue with the police and none of that. Understand the law, understand what they're violating when they're doing what they're doing, and understand what you're gonna do if they take it there. And understand your
Straight up.
position and stand on that. And it's not, and if you gotta, if you know, if they got guns in your face and they're telling you to sign something, know how to contract. You know how to avoid that contract. As soon as the pen touches it, void that motherfucker. It's already void because it's fraud. So add some more evidence of fraud. Add some more evidence of duress. Add some more evidence that you're going to use later
Against them.
if they try you. You see what I'm saying? Because they're knowing that people come into this study for 2-3 months and then start putting in writs and then can't stand on it and then show up. They waive any challenge to personal jurisdiction and then go, oh, they're not paying attention to what I'm saying to them. They're just disregarding me. This Moor stuff doesn't work. These Moors are dirty. I don't fuck with Moors because I'm stupid.
Right.
Not like that, but just because people are going into this with a microwave baby mindset. Like they want results quickly.
They want quickly, but the only way to get a quick result is knowing how to fucking sue. That's why we go to the jurisprudence gym to tighten it up. Even though when you put in a writ that you may have gotten from Harvey Day, that is a lawful suit that says, first of all, here's my status, which shows you have no jurisdiction in the personam, because first issue in law is status. So your standing is saying, hey, I don't have a contract or a fucking oath of office that says I'm a federal agent. I'm not working at this moment or at any time. You saying that, oh, you did this infraction. Well, was I fucking working within a federal trade zone on federal land? And if so, where's my contract and oath of office that says that I'm that status and I agree to this fucking hearing, to these proceedings? Don't have those, you deserve to be asked what color noose you want to be hung in for trying to get me to and it's just that fucking simple. However, it's so simple, we still need to exercise these principles in our minds so we know how to hold these motherfuckers to their obligation. Are you trying to offer me just compensation because you're talking to me and we don't have no fucking dealings together? Why the fuck are you talking to me? That's why when Albions get pulled over, hey buddy, the fuck are you pulling me over for? Because they know what the fuck we're saying right now on this recording. I yield.
Yeah. So it boils down to what is the basis for their presumption of thinking that they can tell you anything? What are they using as a law, as the lawfully promulgated records? What basis? What are they standing on to say, oh yeah, we know who this is.
The minimum, which are minimum contracts, like license and social security number, which you can only have a license or a fucking social security number if you're admitting you're a federal agent. Right. Those are the that can get them are federal agents. But my mama said that I need this, and my mama said that your mama's an idiot.
Your time.
Comprehends that she was in error, and now she can go, hey guys, forgive me. I was thinking that this was the right thing to do, but now I've learned that I'm breaking the law, and I'm correcting myself and correcting you all. And I'm no longer going to be an accomplice to breaking the fucking law. I yield the floor.
And you know what I just seen right here? It says, suing someone who has to agree to be sued. The government must waive its sovereign immunity. And I thought about that term, sovereign people. The people got to waive it too. You can't just sue the people too. You think it's some special thing that just the government has a type of immunity where they have to waive consent. They have to waive, the right to be sued so that they can be sued. And it's the same thing for the people. And I just thought about it. It's funny they call it sovereign immunity because there's a term called sovereign people. But yeah, you just said something that made me want to pull something up.
Right here, bro, because we got this on the record and whatever.
I forgot what did you just say? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, we put them in the chat, bro. You know I'm on fire. Turned up.
Okay, so let's do this. Let me show you something. What state republic do you domicile near? Mother Kharmyshia?
Georgia territory.
Okay, so you can find is there a county that is like claiming that they're over that area?
Yeah, Cobb County.
Cobb County. Okay, so
you say Cobb like COBB or the Cobb like the BEKL?
Cobb COBB cannot be in book.
All right, gotcha.
So I'm gonna let you know right now. The internet and these websites are going to be your best friend when you're researching how things operate. Me personally, this really works for me, and I think this will work for anyone else near the territory they domicile near. I went to Clark County because Clark County is the county that is claiming that they're over this area, right? So there's other counties in the state of Nevada, right? But Clark County is the one near where I domicile. So I looked up Clark County's website, right? And I'm pretty sure this will be the same for your area. We could probably check it in a minute. But you go to their website and use their websites. Any government website, look at the website, look at the contact us, look at, just go through the entire website, just analyze it. There's so much information on their websites that can help you to understand how they're doing things.
How they have jurisdiction over the people.
What'd you say, bro?
How they have no jurisdiction over the people. I yield.
Right. They're only providing services. So when you go to government, here's like a full little breakdown of their stuff. And I'm pretty sure there'll be something like that for the Cobb County, right? And you could go straight to elected officials, right? For example. And now, wow, it's breaking down federal elected officials, state, Senate. Like, yo, there's a lot of stuff right here, right? All right, I got problems, not problems, but sums that need to be solved. Dealing with a city court, the municipal court. They're just renegade, right? So we're going to click on Las Vegas. Now it's going to take me to their site. Government. Oh, look, mayor. The mayor is the head of the city. If you go look up the city charter, you might want to write that down. City charter. The charter will express their powers and limitations.
So let me ask a question, Matt. Ask an emotional outburst question. So the city pertaining to Las Vegas is a jurisdiction within another jurisdiction called Clark County. Am I comprehending that correctly?
Yes.
Did you say
it's
yes?
Yes, it's like the little Chinese toy that you open them up and then there's another one inside and then there's another one inside.
A
You know what I'm
bush,
saying?
the babushka doll. Got you.
Yeah. It's like that with the with these different jurisdictions.
Got you.
So now let's say this is funny. This is I'm speaking based on something that's actually going on. I got a so-called judge, someone who's acting as a judge, right, in the city court, who is just not doing her job. So let's go look her up. We got 6 departments. What do you know? She's not even there. Right? She's not even there. She's like acting as a judge, this lady, right? But she's not here. So where is she, right? So now we got to find this lady. I could look up her name, but let's go to. Oh, don't they have the directory? Where's the directory? Contact directory. Wow. This is what I found, right? Oh, mayor, councilman, councilwoman. Let's find this lady who is pretending to be a judge. There she is. Oh, look, they're saying she's an interim judge in Department 6. Interesting, right? Because Department 6 doesn't show her, right? Doesn't say Shannon. Didn't say Shannon D. Nordstrom, right? Go back. Department 6, that doesn't say Shannon. But I'm just showing you how you can navigate their sites and figure out who they are, right? And figure out, you know, their departments, whatever you need to know should be on there. Some of the certain things they do hide, like the bonds and stuff like that. They really are going to try to hide that information. But look, the city clerk, city auditor. So these websites are definitely your friend. Let's try it. Let's go to
Cobb County in Georgia somewhere. See how it looks. Is that what you're saying?
Indeed. No, this is .org. Try to find the .gov. Here we go. Look for that .gov, right? I think this is it. Let's see. Website looks kind of sketchy. Directory.
Have you ever researched this before, Mother Kharmyshia? Are you there still?
I'm over here talking. Yeah, I have never even thought to look this up.
See, but there are Moors out there that's grinding sheep telling you get the lawyer.
I can't with you.
Oh no, they're so fucking criminal. Okay, anyway, I yield.
All right, so boards and authorities, resident participation, not a resident. But let's read this and see what they're talking about. The Cobb County Board of Commissioners, oh, that's the commission for the Cobb County, okay, is assisted.
Hold on, which means that they are the ones making decisions, running it, they're the heads. So when you see commissioners, they're the same thing as like governors, or the same thing as we're the board. That's why it says board of commissioners. So, you know, I'm just saying, you know, board away from commissioners or board pertaining to the commissioners. Either way, it's a groupthink mentality going on, that saying that they have the authority, right? Board authorities. Okay, I yield.
All right, BOC is assisted by a number of advisory commissions. Okay, so they're being assisted by other commissions known as advisory commissions, boards and committees. Okay, these groups are comprised of county residents and report directly to either the BOC, the Board of Commissioners, or to the individual county departments. Generally speaking, the terms board, commission, and committee are interchangeable. So that's what we're saying. Board of Governors or Board of Commissioners, Board of Committee, huh?
Generally speaking, the terms board, commission, and committee. Okay, so they all mean the same thing they're saying. All righty. That's they rhythms or their quote unquote nicknames. Okay, how you?
Right. The cultures and the language. That's how they getting down, right? Okay. The groups vary in size and responsibility. Some bodies are created for a specific length of time. And the creation right here, created, to me, that just indicates that it's an artificial construct, right? Some bodies are created for a specific length of time, while others are ongoing in their assistance of the BOC. In addition, commissioners make appointments to a variety of other authorities and boards throughout the county, which serve in advisory capacities for specific projects, services, or facilities. These operate outside the direct supervision of county government. Gotta know. Interesting, right?
Very.
But all right, I'm not gonna bore you with this, but I'm just showing you who's at the top, because I guarantee if you look at the elected officials, let's find the elected officials right here. Boom. See that? It ain't hidden. It's right there. And the county attorney who's trying all the cases. What was that?
Who are they? I said, let's see who they are. Yay!
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's go to elected officials.
There's a party in my tummy. So yummy. So you stop, yo. Yo, Gabba.
Oh, no pictures? Okay, here goes your commissioners near the Cobb County, Georgia State Republic.
The Grand Sheik and the chairman are in place to make law and enforce law. There's the chairwoman, Lisa Cupid doesn't lie. Let's see. We should see if she doesn't lie. Lisa Cupid. That's so cool. That's 112, right? But you won't know unless you give it a try.
Look, oh, she's a Moabite.
She's a Moabite. And she's an Eastern Star, boy. Look at that pose. That is some Eastern Star posing. Goodness gracious. Jesus Christ. Yo.
Chairwoman.
Let's see. Read her. Hold on. Let's read. Let me read it. Lisa Cupid is commission chairwoman pertaining to Cobb County. She has served on the Cobb Board of Commissioners since 2013. She 9 years in, bro. Look at Astro. Some of her accomplishments include expanding transit service, improving citizen education and engagement, and advocating for enhanced public safety measures. Public, that sounds like Title 10, right, of the United States Code, which is military. Public is always military. So military safety. Anyway, where we at? Enhanced public safety measures, including the use of license plate readers. Additional body cameras. What the fuck? She is with the shits. And implementing a public safety, military safety nuisance abatement program. That is an interesting combination of terms there.
Nuisance abatement, huh?
Abatement.
Wow.
Cupid is known to have an arrow and shoots it. Let me stop. Cupid is known as a strong advocate for the fair treatment of all Cobb's residents and stakeholders. Wow, that sounds like human trafficking and racketeering, like it's a stock. Stakeholders, regardless of geographic, demographic, or economic standing. That means we'll railroad your ass for the sake of doing Cobb County business. In her new role as chairman, Cupid plans to be the quote, all in, end quote, to be, she plans to be all in, right? Like she's gambling at a poker table, because there's stakeholders there.
Right. She's all in, right?
My witnessing gambling, isn't that against our Zodiac Constitution? But anyway, she's all in to help ensure Cobb maintains, it's like corn on the cob. Okay, let me stop. Cobb maintains its strength as a premier county without leaving areas or populations pertaining to the county behind. This is through a foundation of integrity, inclusiveness, intelligent decision-making, innovation, and investing in Cobb's residents, infrastructure, and future. She is an attorney. Thomas in a bar agreement. Thomas in a fucking bar agreements.
Wow, she's a wow.
Let's read this shit. Cupid is an attorney and former mediator, not a former attorney though. So she is an attorney. She's a fucking bar member. Cupid is an attorney and former mediator, policy analyst, and manufacturing process engineer. She resides in the city of Smyrna with her 2 children and husband, who is also an attorney, law partner, and former electrical engineer. Both are graduates of Georgia Tech and Georgia State Law and are followers of Christian faith.
Oh, cherry on top.
Goodness gracious. Look what happens.
A Negro black colored milkshake with a cherry on top.
Goodness gracious. And she's a fucking barrister. What the fuck? Thomas in the bar agreements.
Yo, but she's the chairwoman. Let's go back. This is funny because there's a lot wrong with that.
I got you.
Oh, goodness gracious. Who the chief?
Mother Kharmyshia, look at the county-wide elected officials. First the commissioners, and now the county-wide. They have the chief magistrate.
Who the fuck is that?
Of probate court, clerk of state court, clerk of superior court. Do you know what the difference between these courts?
No.
Okay, this is why we study for sure. So there's no way that you're gonna put in a writ and then not comprehend how they function, and then they're not gonna look at you and be like, oh, she caught us. Let's stop. She caught us with her fangs in her neck. Stop drinking this tasty blood because she realized it. But like their structure is not that it's complex. It's just that there's many different agencies, many different positions, and many different laws and things that was not taught to us. This is why it seems confusing, like, because then we'll go listen to someone say, oh yeah, try this, do this, but you're gonna go send in a writ to an agency that you don't even comprehend. You didn't even go read the history of that agency, right? This is why it's important to utilize these websites for these agencies, these government entities. They have websites. Go on their websites, educate yourself. It's not hard. Just takes action. Let's look at the chief magistrate.
Just real quick. Okay, so for example, knowing the chairwoman, like, and who she is, and she's an attorney, knowing that, just like I said, for an example, what the fuck do I do with that information?
Okay. It's important to know, do you realize who she is, like her position? Why it's important to know about her and her position?
I mean, I know she's not for me, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know she's not for my freedom.
Okay, do you know that she's merely they're merely providing services.
To who though? Like,
they're providing services for everyone because they're doing business on our land.
Okay.
How are they established? That's what I want to know. It's got to be something in the Georgia State Constitution.
Yeah, but what I'm telling you is this county, I guarantee you the police for the area that you domicile near is under the county. Okay, so everything that they do, whether it's enforcing an eviction, where they're serving process, all the tickets that they're doing, everything they do when they arrest somebody for a warrant is done through the police, who's under the sheriff, who's the county sheriff. You get me?
Mhm.
So it's important to know their hierarchy, their levels and ranks, because when they start fucking with you, if they're messing with you, then you know who you're
Who to
supposed to
call.
address. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because they can't keep saying, oh, you know, I'm just doing my job, I'm just doing my job. You're coming after that in particular individual, but before anything, you're putting their head people on notice. So when they act and say, oh, we didn't know, they can't say that. Because you already put their top guys on notice that you're not a federal agent or whatever you put them on notice about. So if it's a traffic ticket, if they're trying to, I guarantee if they're trying to take your children through the family court system, they're going to use the police who are under the sheriff, under the county. So yes, you should know who the commissioners are, because the commissioner is the only one who could bring you before the court. Because the commissioners are the ones who give the attorneys the permission to bring suit in their name.
Islam.
Not just anyone can bring suit for a corporation. Only that's a board level decision. Hiring an attorney is hiring a corporate attorney is a board level decision. The officer, all these different positions of the corporation, they can't just go hire an attorney. There has to be a notice meeting where the board of commissioners say, you know, yes, give these people permission to bring suit against whoever for whatever reason. So when you're coming before these venues, who's actually bringing you? Because it depends on the situation, right? We're talking in general right now, but it depends on the situation of what somebody's dealing with. What is the entity? The state of Nevada versus whoop-de-whoop for a traffic situation, or, you know, whatever situation it may be. We would go back and see, okay, who's communicating with me? Why the fuck are they communicating with me? Excuse my language. Are they assuming there's a contract somewhere? Or are they assuming that just because I exist and I'm standing on this earth in an area where they do business, that I'm subject to what they're talking about? We got to get it out of our heads that the government created us. If the people establish the Constitution if the people select the representatives, if the people have all the rights reserved in the Bill of Rights, where do they get it in their mind that what they're saying applies to us? There is a presumption somewhere. You want to ask them. You don't want to assume, oh, it's because I got a license. Oh, it's because you don't incriminate. You're not to incriminate yourself. You have the right to not incriminate yourself. Someone is trying to communicate with you. Why? Where are they getting it in their mind? You ask them. And this is where understanding law, understanding due process of law, understanding common law, understanding different aspects of the jurisprudence is going to assist you. You don't have to be learned like that to understand, I don't have a contract with these people.
Here, what business do we have? Why the fuck are you talking to me?
Knowing that this woman, Lisa, maybe you can send a letter to Lisa. Hey, Lisa, what lawful records are you using to bound me and my property to any state court, anything, state court ruling, state court judgment, state court warrant?
So I get what you're saying as far as that. Like I understand. But with your example, you're saying just out of the blue, not even out of the blue. I mean, it's because I'm aware. So out of my higher, because I'm conscious, I would just initiate a conversation with her.
Your intention is to correct the record and have them moved from their record. Do they have, did the county registrar send some documentation about you and the product from your womb to the Department of Commerce so that there could be I found this out of my pussy certificate called a birth certificate on the record, and I know what I just said for the record on purpose.
The thing is that even if they're presuming,
hold on, brother, hold on.
My apologies.
Mother Kharmyshia, do you have document? Do they think they can assume? Well, here's a so-called birth certificate, which is only for foundlings. That's why I called it a found it out your pussy certificate.
Yeah, they think that they have authority over me.
Over
Why? Why?
Also said you're quote unquote with a divorce, correct?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Because you're saying you're also dealing with a quote unquote divorce, correct?
Yes.
Which means that you've been put into and recorded under the Department of Orphans. If you went through, I don't know if you had a ceremony.
Let me tell you. I haven't. Nothing is in paper form. Like nothing.
Dealing with the children. Okay, got you. I yield. Go ahead. I yield.
Okay, so why do you think that they think that they have authority over you? What do you think they're thinking?
I say that because I'm just going off of, like, I've never submitted anything to them. I have to the IRS, but not like to anybody on the BOC for Cobb County about like myself, just nothing. I've never said anything.
You don't have to. What I'm saying is, if, for example, have you ever had any traffic tickets?
Yes.
Given to you, right? Bill of Attainder, commonly referred to as traffic tickets. Okay. In a situation like that, what do you think is the cop's presumption of why he thinks that he has the right to turn on his emergency lights, right, and accost you and put you and imprison you on the side of the road and ask you anything? What do you think would be what do you think is the lawful, what do you think is his congressional authority to do that? Where does that come from? Like what authority?
I don't think that they have any authority over me. I know they don't.
So what do you think he thinks is the reason why he's allowed to do that?
They know that they think that I'm incompetent. So it's just routine.
Because they're assuming via the license plate.
Oh, okay, true.
Because now you've taken your own private property, registered it with a state of corporation via their Department of Motor Vehicles. So what you said was, I can't govern myself and my property accordingly. I need someone else to do it and police me. But you're only supposed to do that if you have a contract and an oath of office admitting that you're a federal agent working on federal land within a federal trade zone. I want to keep repeating that shit.
No, honey. I got a question.
I yield.
For y'all, what is on your car? Like, what the fuck?
When I hold on, let me go grab it for you. So you can see.
Your vehicle. Because I'm really about this life. It's the competence. That's it.
Even the former consort that I was with, she continues to travel because most people just come around me or stuff like that just to learn how to do this. But listen, that's hard, right? Because I comprehend what's on my nationality card. So therefore, I've allowed myself to have things which, Brother Aura, isn't this like an email away that comes with instructions, right? This is just a way that comes with instructions. And I tell people, make sure they study and know what they're doing for real. And this is what I put. I put my own based on my own thinking, because this 319 US 105 is also on my right to travel card that I got from RV Bay. But RV Bay isn't, anything but just producing a brief for me based on my comprehension pertaining to the law. So this is what I put when I have a land conveyance. You hear these? That's from Build a Sign. Yeah, 50 units will get you a whole set if you choose to do that. However, I know I don't have to put anything on there. There was levels to my maturation. However, I'll tell you, my former consort, she's still riding around on this because I shared with her the concept that I helped her get, and all she did was go on Facebook Marketplace, found somebody to transact with. I wrote up the bill of sale, and the title, I titled it to the trust. Period. Even though the trust isn't with the state of corporation, because the trust I'm talking about is the one that's within our own Moorish Divine and National Movement, within our own thinking. No one needs to have say-so over any property of ours, especially when our spirit is in the right place. Are we clear on this? Do you see this? Are you really seeing this here?
I'm seeing stars, literally.
Okay. Just want to make sure you're actually seeing, because you asked a question, I'm going to actually show you, because we don't fucking bullshit. I yield.
And there's nothing on my car.
Wow. So you just have your vehicle, you travel, and there's nothing.
No, that's not saying that there's nothing. I wouldn't use it if I didn't know what to do when they mess with me, because they're not supposed to be messing with you. So
right.
Me personally, I know what I'm gonna do. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I would not advise someone who doesn't know what to do to exercise any right that they can't stand on. See what I'm saying? Because then that's when people start saying, oh, you know, these Moors did this to me, or you know what I mean? They start acting like it's anybody's fault other than their own, or why they're in the situation that they're in.
And people's perception of Moors is, you know, your law doesn't pertain to me, and whatever. It's like, no, yes and no.
It's not like, oh, we're Moors, so it just doesn't apply.
Right, like I am the law.
Show me how it applies.
Right.
Without even saying it doesn't apply. Show me how it applies or where it applies.
Okay.
Because words have definitions and all are specific. So we're not gonna read.
Show me shit.
Yeah, we're not gonna read something and act like it doesn't say what it says. We're gonna look at things for what they actually are. We're not gonna act like because everybody's using Federal Reserve notes, it's lawful. It's not lawful. You know what I'm saying?
I think that part is like the transition. Like it's, you know how, you know, you just, it's like you use the notes until you are competent. Like, I don't even.
No, I understand, because the system is a you know, it's a sort of like a monster. It's like a type of monster. You know what I mean? It's complex to a certain extent. So I understand, but what do we use fiat for? We use it for 3 to 4 things: food, clothing, shelter, and ignorance, or things that destroy us. You know what I mean? Food, we can grow it. Clothes, we can grow and make it. Shelter, we can use elements of the earth to build our shelter. The issue is there are beings on the land who think that they can tell you how you should use these resources, and they're playing monopoly with the resources. So that's the main issue, is that they're playing monopoly with our stuff instead of it being open to the people. When you're looking at this and you're looking for the truth is always that which sets you free. The truth is always the answer. When I'm looking at, okay, well, the truth is that they actually don't have the authority to do this. They actually don't have the authority to do this. I actually have the right to do this. I actually have the right to do this. I'm sticking with the truth because it seems like the truth is moving me closer and closer towards freedom. And the bullshit that they feed us is leading us closer and closer towards death. You know what I mean? So at a certain point, it's like, okay, am I gonna stand on truth, or am I gonna submit to fear and do this? You know what I mean? And I understand, like you're saying, it's a transition. That's why we're telling you people need to just study, because that fear goes away completely the more you know. And anything, like I know you got so many questions because you're not seeing everything that I know already. But I mean, go right ahead with your questions. To answer that first question, this board, they're the head of the county. So yeah, you might want to be familiar with them, because when one of their employees or agents is acting up, then they're who you go tell. That's like their mom and dad, right? That's their boss. Like, why wouldn't you go put them on notice? Like, hey, you do know that, you know, these people are saying this, and what are you guys standing on? Oh, nothing? Okay, thank you. Now I'm gonna sue your dumb ass because you're standing on nothing and you're trying to talk to me for whatever reason. And that's where understanding the court procedures, civil procedure, criminal procedure, understanding the different rights you have, understanding whatever position they're in, how they're supposed to be operating. They can't be telling you that they're applying something to you and then they're not following the rules. You call them out on that. You hold them to that.
It's some real shit. It's like Brother Hasan saying, I'm gonna tell my side and your side. Like, wow. Okay.
The whole truth and nothing but the truth.
Yes. Okay. My confidence is growing because I feel like my perspective is changing. But it's in the same direction. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Thank you.
No, yeah, no, we're trying to be as safe as possible. We're not condoning, you know, that you're attacking anything. You know what I mean? It's not attacking anything. We're just learning. That's all we're doing, is learning so that we can be what we know. Any job that you get, they're gonna have to train you on how to do the job. Noble Drew Ali said, I'm gonna leave the Europeans here long enough for you to learn government. Noble Drew Ali set up a civic organization at first. It is imperative that we understand how things are being ran so that we understand how they don't apply or how they may apply. Right now, we're just looking at the county website. This is one website. You're not gonna be jurisprudent master overnight. You're not gonna be master anything overnight. But consistency is the key, because as you're learning these things, remembering these things, man, it's going to boost your confidence a lot more. Like, this is only one day that we're building. We go to jurisprudence class twice a week, and then, you know, we're always studying apart from that. So it may seem like something that I might say, or Brother Hasan might say, might sound like, oh wow, these brothers are sharp. But it's not just that we're sharp, it's just that we just went through the information. That's it. So they got the Superior Court of the state court. If they got Supreme Court of Georgia, right? They may have two or whatever, because I know near the Las Vegas Corporation, they have one, and near Reno, I believe they have another one. Two Supreme Courts of Nevada, right? But the Supreme Court of the state is the highest state court according to their hierarchy. The municipal tends to be the lowest, or any other inferior so-called court that they have, like specialty courts like competency court, or all these weird little court programs that they come up with. Okay, who has the authority to even establish a court? Have you ever thought about that?
No.
So
Well, I said, what's up with their state constitution, bro? Like, what's good?
yeah, let's see.
I was reading that, but that was when I was trying to produce the writ.
Okay, so
for again, you said something you had to deal with going with the commission. It sounded like you wrote Charles P. Redding. I'm a little curious. How did you move forward?
Well, they sent some mail to my parents' house, and they said, you know, my husband and I owe, and I spoke with a couple more. You were one of them, Brother Hasan. Really, I didn't ask like a lot of information from you, but you did give a lot, like meanings, USC codes, or US codes, whatever. And you told me about the commissioner. I'm like, oh, okay, attacking the head. So I produced the writ. I used 2 writs, and basically maybe I used 3 writs, and I kind of put them together in my own way, using some of the, what did I use? Case laws. I used like 2 or 3. And that was it. I just went to UPS and sent it to them.
What was the outcome? I want to know what the outcome was.
That was July 14th, and I gave them like 21 days or something. And so there's been no response. I haven't gotten anything.
Sounds
so
go ahead. I said it sounds like me, but go ahead, I'm listening.
Okay, so there was no response, and I'm just curious. So I'm, asking those Moors again, like, what if this, what if that? And they just said, like, well, one of them said, well, if they, send for you to come to court, then you'll just have to deal with that. And I'm just like, okay. That's it. It's just there, up in the air.
It's love.
what was that for again? You said you got a notice from who?
The IRS.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, saying we owe like $10,000. I'm like, what the fuck? Hell no.
Okay, and then you sent them a notice back,
Yeah.
and they didn't respond.
No.
And then did they contact you further on the initial matter?
No.
Okay. Did they take any action against you?
No, nothing has happened since, at all.
Did they say they were going to take
go ahead.
Did they say they were going to take an action in the initial contact, if anything, for any reason?
You know what? It's right here. Let me get it.
You know that only the only the federal court can issue a summons. They can't summon you anywhere.
It just says that basically we didn't pay enough, that they had to add some stuff on there. Nope. They're talking about we can help you pay. Yeah, that's it. There's nothing saying like if you don't. Hold on 1 second. It says unlike penalties, we can. Nope. Yeah, there's no like consequence or anything on here.
I mean, I know we're recording, so I don't know if you want to talk about it more, but I was gonna say, if you want to talk about that later personally, you know what I mean? About what did you send them back? Because I'm actually curious to know what exactly you said. You said Brother Hasan helped you with some of
Just
that.
on who to address, and he kind of gave me the tone, if that makes sense. He helped me understand my tone, like, you know, like, who are you?
Islam. Did you ask them to basically produce some type of authority of why they're even talking to you?
Yeah, I said, I dispute the validity of this debt. And I put why, because according to the US codes below, the United States is a corporation. I do not work for the United States. Also, Federal Reserve notes are an obligation of the United States, and Federal Reserve notes are exempt from taxation by a state or political subdivision of a state. I mean, I added some other stuff in there. Do you want me to just like read it?
No, you don't have. No, that's what I'm saying. You don't have to read, because that's
Okay. I included some questions asking. I said, "Are you asking for Federal Reserve notes or money?" And I asked, "Are you Congress?"
That's actually funny.
Why is he laughing?
Yeah. What species? Yeah. So that's great. You told them. They said they sent you something under whatever presumption, whatever state of mind they're in. You responded like, I think you got the wrong woman or man, whatever you're looking for, or corporation, like, not me. And you asked them for certain verifying information, and they didn't respond. Great,
So
excellent. That's excellent.
Acquiesce. You just proved status and personam jurisdiction.
Okay.
That's in those statements that we brief right now. However, it sounds like now some suing needs to happen. So there are further actions that need to be taken. Therefore, we'll invite you to the jurisprudence gym on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm just saying respectfully, keep it to yourself. Because when some Moors are going to want to be opportunistic packaged, what you're going to see is no packages need to be sold. That's what you're going to really see. And when you see that, and you find some other mothers that's really sincere about this shit, like you are, y'all, I'm telling you, y'all gonna be ripping a new one into these brothers out here selling these packages.
Okay. Got a couple cancer friends who are mothers. They are dead ass. Mm-hmm. Just sincerity. They're very sincere. So
let's say live head instead of dead ass.
Live heads. They live heads.
Okay, I get it.
Yo, you still have your records that you sent what you sent to them and that they received it?
So I didn't check the tracking, but I do have
you have the tracking
receipt, or yeah.
Oh, okay. Hey, looky, Astro Cookie. All right.
Keep that for your records. If you can, scan it. If you have a scanner, scan it and put it in an electronic form and save it. Because if anything were to occur in the future, for any other matter, it could be for any situation. This is a form of self-defense. People come at you sideways saying, you're this person, you did this, or you owe this, you have this obligation. There can be no obligation unless there's a contract somewhere, because slavery is not legal. It's not lawful. So since I'm not your fucking slave, pardon my French, I get a little passionate about this whole thing. But since I'm not your slave, how are you commanding me to do anything? Produce evidence where I give you consent.
Exactly. Go ahead, bro. I'm just ad-libbing like Jeezy.
Right. Produce something that shows where I give you consent, where you even have the right to speak to me. Like, for example, if I sign a contract, right, to rent a car, and then I crash the car, and part of the contract says, if I damage this car, then I'm liable for suit in state small claims court or state district court. That is prior consent. We had an agreement, we have a contract, and I agreed to be hailed into this venue in case there's any dispute. That would be my consent to him. That would be his permission to even speak to me. Why are you even talking to me? Oh, because what do you mean, why am I talking to you? I got this contract, you're renting this car and you crashed it. You know what I'm saying? There's my signature on here, there's your signature on here, there's all the elements of the contract are intact. So this contract meets the elements of a contract. So this is a lawful contract. You are this party. You did sign this here this day. Here's the witness or whatever. So this is why I'm talking to you.
Yeah, let me stop. Let me stop. But yeah, that's how it would go.
But if they're not saying any of that, they're just like, hey, sometimes they don't even tell you who they are. Sometimes you get a letter and there's no from person, or there's no natural person, or there's no name at all. And they're just addressing it to some name, to the mailbox that happens to be the mailbox for the structure wherein you do whatever you do. That's not you living at 555, Parkway Avenue. You don't live in the mailbox.
I'm sure I don't.
So they can get that assumption out their mind if they think that the reason that they're talking to you is because you live at a mailbox. They got to have a reason to engage with you. Everybody has the right to be left alone, as long as they don't infringe upon others' rights to be left alone.
Correct.
So when they hit you up, that's a violation already of tops. And then when you ask them, produce something that says why you're even speaking to me, and they don't respond, go through the list of crimes, because they're committing crimes.
Oh, hold on. Right there, let me ad-lib. This is where, when we was in jurisprudence gem yesterday, this is where
harassment.
This is where we need to know the elements. So we go and do something, we want to say, okay, it's harassment. Then we need to go and look up the statute for Georgia for harassment. So we look up whatever the revised statutes are, whatever the state statutes are for Georgia, and you can just type it in, brother. Let's just do it as an, so we can see what the elements of harassment are. You see what I'm saying? Or we can do Georgia statutes, elements of harassment, or Georgia statutes, harassment. And then, because that's one thing, so we need to know if we go to sue somebody for something, whatever category, whatever cause of action it is, we need to make sure all the elements within that cause of action are met, or you're gonna fucking lose. So if there's 9 elements to fucking harassment, then you need to make sure when you go to put in your cause of action that all 9 elements are being met. Because your writs don't even have to be long. They could be literally 1 page, a few sentences, and you stand on it. So George,
and
go ahead, Alim.
Okay,
No,
I understand the writs being simple, because I've heard you say that before, and I'm like, bruh, it's not that simple. But it really is. Like, I studied for, I want to say like a full month before I even started that shit. Like, I was just like, oh my God, I was stressed. Like, I don't know anything. I just know that I don't fucking owe them. I just didn't know how to get that out. But I mean, since I've done it, it's been pretty, I feel good.
Because at the end of the day, just like with Mother Yeshweli, remember the first reason Yeshweli even hollered at us is because she spent a couple thousand notes with some other Moors that never assisted her. And that's why these other beings termed quote unquote brothers was like, well, go on, get a lawyer. You need an attorney then. Okay. So this sister get robbed by some other Moors. And the best thing you can say is she's Negro black colored. She needs an attorney. Man, brothers ain't liking that. Other brothers, you know what I mean? They like, so hold on. So if that happened to a mother, what that mean for me? I mean that these brothers are going to say the same thing to you. They're going to say, get an attorney. That sounds like that's the opposite of what Prophet Noble Drew Ali said in the divine warning, right? We're gonna have to go back to that divine warning again, bro, because that's what made me go, bro. I need to hit record, right? But however, yeah, let's look up the harassment and stuff like that. Let's see, because I did see it said, you know, it says subsection 16 or something. So you all right? So brother R is showing for the record how to navigate them statutes for the Georgia General Church, because an assembly is a church. Didn't you read that earlier, Mother, when we took you through the 4 different versions from Young's literal translation to the 1599 Geneva Bible to the Amplified version and the King James Bible? Didn't the one time it said assembly and then the other time it said church when we was reading Matthew 18:15 through 20?
Yes,
Do you remember that?
I remember.
Okay, so the Georgia General Assembly is the Georgia General Church, which is more proof that the church and state are not separated. You can't have the state without the church. I'm trying to tell you, man.
Look right here. Right here, where is it at? I lost it. Right here. Georgia Code. We got Georgia Code, Georgia Constitution, General Statute Summary, Georgia Online State Agencies. So we could go to their code, right? That's their codified legislation.
We need to find harassment.
Harassment. Oh, really?
Oh, just refresh. LexisNexis. What do you know?
Right.
Oh, please type harassment.
These are the titles. Now we got to find the right title first, which would be crimes against something, right? Oh, is it not?
It did say that. I remember you went past that. It did say, but that's why I just said, fuck it. Just type harassment. Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Oh.
Annotated code. Yeah, it did say subsection 16. So yeah, I think we're there. Let's see. Is there something with harassment there?
Not that I'm seeing.
It says section sub 16 -11 something, I thought, or whatever. But if you got to go back or type or open up another tab to type it back or whatever, that's cool. But I definitely want to see harassment though.
Yeah, I was trying to find a government site that said it. We could find like one of those off-brand sites that says allegedly what the statutes say. I just wanted to find, you know what I mean?
Can you go back to your search? Not back, but stay there, I guess, and then open up another tab or whatever, and then we can see, like, all right.
I got too many tabs.
Because you be studying. I don't sell packs, motherfucker. I study.
We'll get it back here.
Oh my goodness. Man. I'm trying to the lovely thing here. Super lovely. Oh, divine warning is so beautiful. God, that's so beautiful.
United States business means a United States citizen.
That's why, because don't you gotta have a business license? That's why you don't need a fuck. I'm just saying, man. They will be selling them. There you go. There you go. Hold on. Was that it or no?
Were you about to say that's why you don't need like a business license and an LLC and stuff?
Man, you don't need none of that shit because all that shit says I'm a federal agent.
Right. Like, why can't I just create, like, say, art and just, okay, you know, you pay whatever and then that's that.
trade your art for whatever you want, because you're not going to sell your art for, you don't need Federal Reserve notes, because everything is supposed to be free as far as like the food, and your, your place of, domicile. We're not supposed to be paying rent and power bill and paying for groceries and stuff. That stuff is supposed to be free. This is like stalking. I don't know if you want to go over this one or.
I guess harassing and obscene communications. Maybe you may have to do it like that. Harassing communications. May have it like that. What is it saying? Oh, or I'm just coming back.
Right here, harassing.
Phone call 161139. That's what it said.
Harassing communications.
And that's what you received. That's what you received. But we need to make sure.
Yeah,
so,
we could. Here's the universal citation.
Okay, if you want to click on that, it's all good. I don't care. Do that because it'll take you straight to Georgia code, right? Or no?
Well, let's go back.
Yeah. So 161139.1, 161139.1, 161139.1.
Now put Georgia code twice. Find the .gov.
Yeah.
Why?
Go back to the General Assembly and type it in, I guess. Either way.
Brother Hasan, you don't even know. I get your personality, okay? And I appreciate it for real.
Islam. I mean, I get it. I know I can come off like a hard ass sometimes. I just really don't mean it. I really, really don't mean it like a fucking asshole. It's just that the truth is stern. It doesn't change and it doesn't pass away. And this is like Brother Todd said, it's past midnight because like, yo, we need to be fucking like really have ourselves like in a mindset where we're trained up to sue, man. And that's why I said, man, like you mothers get it. It's a fucking wrap. Because as you can see, there are a lot of people out here donning grand chic titles that are still selling. They're selling people into slavery. It's not fair. It's not fair to any of us.
I say grand chic. I was just new. I'm just new to this. I thought that's what you say. Like I'm used to saying past or whatever. I know it's different, but I mean, I don't know. It's just a person that's knowledgeable, It's like, okay. And then I looked up grand chic. I'm like, oh, okay. That's cool. It makes sense. Like, but it's seeming like maybe I shouldn't be doing that.
It's all good. 1611.9.1. No, you're good. I comprehend that. So 16. Yep. Now we need to find 11. Oh, that's not it.
What was the other number?
39.1. 161139.1. Oh, there you go. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Against public order. Oh shit. Let's see that. 161139. There we go. Harassing. Man, brother R, I love you, bro. For the record, bro. This is love.
Yeah. This is how you even find it. And I just posted this link in the chat to the General Church, General Circle.
Asamblea, right? In Moorish Latin, Asamblea or Iglesia is how you say church.
Current through the 2022 regular session of the General Assembly, the Georgia Office of Legislative Counsel. What's the legislative branch, Mother Kharmyshia?
The lawmakers.
All right, so-called lawmakers, right? The Georgia
Office
so-called Legislative Counsel, pursuant to Code Section 28-9-5, publication of the replacement volumes and supplements until the annual issuance
hold on, may make editorial changes to this version and may relocate or redesignate text. Those changes will appear on Lexis Advanced after the publication of the replacement volumes. Go ahead. You good. I just got you back, bro.
Yep. Until the annual insurance and certified volumes and supplements reference to the updates made by the most recent legislative session should be to the session laws in conjunction with the official code of Georgia annotated. You might want to look that up too to find. You might find some just like that United States annotated, right? Or Constitution. All right, so it says harassing communications. So that could be phone, that could be by letter, that could be by voice box. Venue, separate offenses, impact of free speech. That's basically the table of contents for this code. A person commits the offense of harassing communications if such person, 1, contacts another person repeatedly via telecommunication, email, text messaging, or any other form of electronic communication for the purpose of harassing, molesting, threatening, or intimidating such person or the family of such person.
Wow.
2, threatens bodily harm via telecommunication, email, text message, or any other form of electronic communication. 3, telephones another person and intentionally fails to hang up or disengage the connection. Or 4, knowingly permits any device used for telecommunication, email, text messaging, or any other form of electronic communication under such person's control to be used for any purpose prohibited by this section. B, any person who commits the offense of harassing communication shall be guilty of a misdemeanor. So you would look at the situation and see if this fits.
All the elements, actually.
But these aren't all the elements. These are just different ways of violating it.
Got you.
Right. If we go into the elements, I don't know where they might have the elements. That might be in.
I just did elements of fraud. I just put the 9 elements of fraud in the chat. Maybe I can look up the elements of harassment.
Yeah, look it up in the federal laws, because just so you know, Mother Kharmyshia, everything that the state is doing, not everything, but for the most part, is a mirroring of what they're doing on the federal level. That's why the federal government has a constitution, state government has a constitution, the federal government has their legislative body, the state government has their legislative body. They all have their branches. They're just like a mini-me, right? Mini-me, less power.
I yield. I was just giving that nesting doll reference again. A little doll inside of a doll bigger than that, right. Inside of bigger than that.
Exactly. So, and another thing is, you might want to write this down. The preemption doctrine, the preemptive doctrine, preemption doctrine, which is based on Article 6, Clause 2 and 3 of the Constitution. Okay, the preemption doctrine is based on the supremacy clause of the Constitution. Do you know what the supremacy clause in the Constitution is?
No.
Isn't that Article 6 or no?
Article 6, of course. Of course. Okay, so yeah, you definitely should know this. Article 6 of the Constitution said, all debts contracted and engagements entered into before the adoption of this Constitution shall be as valid against the United States under this Constitution as under the Confederation. That would be Clause 1. There's Clause 2 and 3. Clause 3. You can go ahead and read that if you're up for it.
Clause 3.
Clause 2.
2.
And then 3.
This Constitution and the laws of the United States, which shall be made in pursuance thereof, and all treaties made or which shall be made under the authority of the United States shall be the supreme law of the land, and the judges in every state shall be bound thereby. Anything in the Constitution or laws of any state to the contrary, notwithstanding.
So what does that mean to you?
Well, pardon me, go ahead, I yield.
How do you interpret that? What did that just say?
Yeah. Hold on one second. Hold on, let me read that again. I know. Okay.
Please watch this.
Okay, so there's a law of the land, and there are people, judges, and there are people who uphold the law of the land.
Okay. So this Constitution and the laws of the United States which shall be made in pursuance thereof, and all treaties made or which shall be made under the authority of the United States shall be the supreme law of the land in regards to the governing of the United States of America. And the judges in every state shall be bound.
That's a lowercase s before it gets to the uppercase s for state. Just want to point that out too. Go ahead, I yield.
Right. What were you talking about? The judges in every state?
Mm-hmm.
And the judges in every state shall be bound thereby anything in the Constitution or laws of any state to the contrary. So any laws of any state that are contrary to anything in the Constitution is notwithstanding. It has no standing.
Constitutional, because constitution means withstanding state. So it's also to the contrary are unconstitutional. They just said notwithstanding. I yield.
Yeah. So now remember I was saying the federal government has their legislative body, the state government has their legislative body. That state legislative body is prohibited, is not authorized, is not delegated the authority to make laws that are contrary to what's enumerated in the Constitution, anything in the Constitution.
Again, the little nesting doll got to fit in the next nesting dolls one size up, and then that nesting doll has to fit in the next nesting dolls the next size up. If the next nesting doll after that doesn't allow it to fit, then it is a notwithstanding nesting doll set.
Therefore, it is unconstitutional.
Correct.
And if it's unconstitutional, it is void, ab initio. It is as if it was never passed. They could say, oh yeah, this bill just passed or whatever. It's unconstitutional. It never passed. Doesn't matter if the police are being told to enforce it. Doesn't matter if they're dumbasses who are going to enforce it for Federal Reserve notes. It is still unconstitutional. So this is telling you the judges are bound, right? Thereby anything in the Constitution. And then it says the senators and representatives before mentioned. So this is Article 6. So Article 1, Article 2, Article 3. So Article 1 dealing with legislative body, Article 2 dealing with executive branch, and Article 3 dealing with Article 3 dealing with the judicial, right? The judicial body, and then Article 4, which only has, let's actually verify. Article 4 is speaking on Congress, right? Very short, one paragraph. And then Article 5, I'm sorry, this is Article 5, my apologies. Article 4 has 4 sections. right? That's where you learn about full faith and credit. Full faith and credit shall be given in each state to the public acts, records, and judicial proceedings of every other state. That's where you get res judicata from, right? Res judicata and stare decisis and common law, right? Which is adhering, stare decisis is basically adhering to, my apologies. Stare decisis is that which has already been decided. It has already been looked at. It is a matter that's already been, it's already been decided. It's res judicata. It's already been adjudicated upon. So for example, you have one case dealing with a particular issue. Somebody else has a case dealing with the same particular issue. Years later, they can look back at previous cases and say, okay, well, this is how, this was the interpretation of the law at that time, and and the interpretation of the rights of the party, the merits of the case, and whatever. And this is how the so-called judges are looking at current situations and comparing them to the past, the common law, those matters that have already been adjudicated upon, that res judicata or the stare decisis, right? And then they'll be able to stay in line with those previously set precedents, those decisions that have already been made. You see what I'm saying? That's the judicial proceedings of other states. So when one state court, say Georgia State Court says, judge says, oh, you cited a case law from New York Supreme Court, that doesn't apply here. Well, Article 4, Section 1, full faith and credit shall be given in each state to the public acts, records, and judicial proceedings of every other state. You see, that's just, kind of breaking down Section 1 of Article 4. But when you get to Article 6, it's dealing with the supremacy clause, and it tells you the senators and the representatives before mentioned, and the members of the several state legislatures, and all executive and judicial officers, both of the United States and of the several states, shall be bound by oath or affirmation, bound to support this Constitution, but no religious test shall ever be required as a qualification to any office or public trust under the United States. That what do you call it again? The dolls? Because that trust is under the United States. So the United States would be the bigger doll. And then the public trust would be a smaller doll. Right? So Article 6 is letting you know that these people, whoever they're claiming to be, if they're claiming to be some type of governmental entity under the United States, whether that's a state government because they're under the United States, whether that's a municipal government because they're under the state or the county, they're under the city that's under the state, that's under the county, that's under the state, that's under the United States. You see what I'm saying? They're bound by oaths and affirmations. So this is why we're going over this Constitution, so that we can hold them to their obligation when they start telling you, you got to do this or you got to do that. Well, wait, let me see. You're claiming you're so-and-so? Oh, okay. So then that means that you're an agent for the United States. So that means you got to oath of office, right? Okay, well, I don't. So why are you talking to me? Oh, because the government makes the laws and they tell us what to do. Oh, is that right? Well, let's go see. Who makes the laws? Article 1, Section 8. Article 1 is dealing with the legislative, right? Go to Section 8. We never finished reading these, remember? So they have the right to collect duties, imposts, taxes, and excises, to borrow money on the credit of the United States, to regulate commerce, to regulate commerce, which is business intercourse, not social and spiritual intercourse, right? With foreign nations and among the several states, and with the Indian tribes. An Indian tribe is another form of a 14th Amendment person. To establish a uniform rule of naturalization. Why would you naturalize into a corporation? You want to be a citizen of Walmart? Go ahead. And uniform laws on the subject of bankruptcies throughout the United States. Again, dealing with commerce, because they have the power to regulate commerce, not the people. to coin money, not print. Private commercial paper belonging to a private commercial bank, ran by a private board of trustees who have nothing to do with this Constitution. Regulate the value thereof and of foreign coin, and fix the standard of weights and measures. To provide for the punishment of counterfeiting the securities and current coin of the United States, to establish post offices and post roads, to promote the progress of science and useful arts by securing for limited times to authors and inventors the exclusive right to their respective writings and discoveries, to constitute tribunals inferior to the Supreme Court. So I had asked you earlier, who has the authority congressionally to constitute tribunals, to give a court authority to do anything? Does the state government give itself authority? Does the state court, for example, the Georgia Superior Court, where did they get their authority from? That's the highest state court. Where would Georgia Superior Court get its authority from? Did it just create, did the people just say, all right, we're just going to create this court? If they did, then wouldn't it have to be through their representatives? And then wouldn't it be through the legislative branch of the United States? Congress would have to constitute a tribunal inferior to the Supreme Court. So where is that Supreme Court's delegated authority? From Congress, right? Where is that municipal court's delegated authority? From Congress, pursuant to Article 1, Section 8 and Article 3, right? If Congress, if the legislative body, they have the power to collect duties, taxes, imposts, and excises, to constitute tribunals inferior to the Supreme Court.
Rocking everywhere. No, I'm gonna stop. I found you, Miss Duty. Let me stop.
And then look at right here, Mother Kharmyshia, to provide. Let me get this highlight. To make rules for the government and regulation of the land and naval forces. Are you a federal agent for the government? Are you a federal agent working in the land and naval forces?
Shit, you know what? So you stop. You remember that from Mad TV? Yo.
It doesn't say to make rules for the people in their private capacity, not their land and naval forces private capacity,
Bars.
but in their I have the right to be left alone capacity. So nowhere here in Article 1 does it say that they make laws for the people. They're collecting to make all laws which shall be necessary and proper for carrying into execution the foregoing powers which were already listed here, which none of which says making rules for people. You got to register your property and all that other stuff. So when you know that they cannot make laws for you, when you're operating in when you're not in this capacity, you're not the government, you're not working for the government, you're not working for the land and naval forces, you don't have a contract with them, you're not a federal agent. 10 times out of 10, when they're accusing you of anything, they're not introducing into the evidence anything that would suggest that you're a federal agent, except for that on those bill of attainders, they might put a social security number, which they may be using to presume you're a federal agent. But again, where's these contracts that says that that number is anything in regards to me? So it
Coming with
all,
that heat.
so it all boils down to why are they talking to you? Where are they getting their authority from? And if they want to act stupid, like they don't have to follow certain laws or uphold your rights, then that's what the enforcing the Constitution is all about.
And here's some questions. Here's some questions to add to your question armory. Are you ready to give me just compensation? Or after that, really before that, here's one. Are you willing to put that in writing under the penalties of perjury? Oh my God. Are you willing to put that in writing under penalties of perjury? One more time. Are you willing to put that in writing under penalties of perjury? Yo, that is the question.
Absolutely. Because once it's in writing, that's your evidence. If you write the head of the city and ask them, how did I become subject to the city court? What lawfully promulgated records are you using as the basis to hold me liable to the court's rulings, to the court's summonses, to the court's opinions, judgments? What are they using? Are they saying because you're a resident? Well, good, because you're not a resident. Are they saying because you got a driver's license? Good, because you don't have a driver's license. And even if they did produce something when you were in an infancy state of mind that you went and fill some paperwork out, that's a forgery. Where is the contract that produced this instrument? You're saying that that's mine and that I'm subject to that. What created that instrument? It's got to be some contract somewhere. Where is it at? Produce that for the record. Oh, there's not two signatures on it, huh? Looks like an adhesion piece of paper because it's not even a contract. Because contracts require specific elements to make them lawfully binding contracts. And you signing anything or autographing a piece of paper that doesn't bear any other signatures on it is not an agreement between two parties. It's not even an agreement. It's an illusion of an agreement to get you to think, well, because the paper said, I have to follow all the Georgia codes pertaining to traffic rules. Otherwise, I won't be able to use this license, which a license is a permission, right? A privilege. I won't be able to have this piece of plastic with my picture on it, with this false information on here that grants me some type of privilege from the state, which is really me surrendering my right to travel, my right to locomotion in order for a privilege, a commercial privilege, whether they say it's commercial or not, because the preemption doctrine states that the federal supersedes the state. So when a federal law and a state law conflict, the federal law supersedes it based on the supremacy clause that we just read in Article 6. And it's called the preemption doctrine. And we'll pull it up because there's a case law with it. Obviously, you can find other sources. I'm just pulling up the first source that pops up. All right. So it says, under the doctrine of preemption, which is based on the supremacy clause, federal law preempts state law, even when the laws conflict. Thus, a federal court may require a state to stop certain behavior it believes interferes with or is in conflict with federal law. There is a case law, let me see. It's like Altria. There's another one. This was a decision in a landmark Supreme Court case of McCulloch versus Maryland. For example, the Constitution does not expressly mention the right to privacy, or the right of people to adopt or seek an abortion. However, these rights can be inferred by the Constitution itself or from the later amended Bill of Rights. I don't see that specific case law, but we could find it. Altria versus Good, something like that.
Is it good with an E at the end of it or no?
I don't believe so. Is this it? I think this is it. U.S. Supreme Court preemption decision. Yep. Altria Group Inc. versus Good. By now, you have probably already read the Supreme Court's new preemption decision. Altria Group Inc. versus Good. U.S. That's United States Supreme Court 129 Supreme Court, right? 538, December 16, 2008. See this blog post for my original coverage of this case. In Altria, the Supreme Court held that the Federal Cigarette Labeling and Advertising Act, FCLAA, 15 U.S.C. subsection 1331 at SEEK, did not preempt a claim under the Maine Unfair Trade Practices Act. Oh yeah, this was when the guy was trying to sue because he said that they didn't properly let me know that smoking this was going to be bad for my health, right? But the courts ruled that there was sufficient, and I don't remember if it was because he was trying to quote state law as if it superseded the federal law, but anyways, the federal law prevailed. You guys can go look this up, so we don't spend too much time on it, but the case law is there, and man, I wish I could get that. Let me find that one little passage that says
preemption for getting a social security number and a license and a birth certificate. This may make you a fucking slave.
Yeah, where was the preemption for that, right? I mean, where was the
Hold on, caution, partaking in a birth certificate, a license, and registration, or any other instruments or instrumentalities pertaining to the United States of America Corporation are dangerous for your health and may make you a fucking slave because you're an indentured servant when you volunteer to use these instruments.
I knew it was a triple number, 555.
555.
Altria Group versus Good, 555 U.S. 70, 2008 was the United States Supreme Court case in which the court held that the state law prohibiting deceptive tobacco advertising was not preempted by federal law regulating cigarette advertising. So the state law prohibiting deceptive tobacco advertising was not preempted by the federal law regulating cigarette advertising. Okay, so they're saying that in this case it didn't preempt it, but when you go in there, it will tell you, man, I wish I have the specific citation of the wording. I know it's in some messages I probably sent people.
Astrology, bro, but take your time. I'm about to get my grub-a-dub-dub on before we even go into the astrology.
I have it in my notes, so let me actually, if I didn't erase it, because sometimes I go through and erase stuff, but let me see. Because I wanted to read the exact wording so you know how to cite the case law.
Maybe we'll just do a short class on the astrology, just as review.
Oh, here we go. I found it. The Supreme Court described the preemption doctrine in Altria Group versus Good, 555 U.S. 70, 2008. State laws that conflict with federal law are without effect. Bow. That's what it said.
In harmony with anything repugnant to the Constitution, notwithstanding.
Yes, and then it goes 71 U.S. Constitution, Article 6, Clause 2. See Altria Group Inc. versus Good, 555 U.S. 70, 76, 2008, quoting Maryland versus Louisiana. That's another one. Maryland versus Louisiana, 451 U.S. 725-746, 1981. State laws that conflict with federal law are without effect. Bow.
Got him.
Let me look that one up for you so you could see that.
What you talking about, Willis?
Maryland versus Louisiana. I'm using one hand here.
I'm putting chickpeas on top of my lentils.
All right, here it is. Legal Beagle. No, that's legal.com.
Beagle.
We got Supreme Justia.com. And it says, let's go to the foreign. What was the number again? 70 and 76.
Bing bong. Let me stop.
The Louisiana Act violates the Supremacy Clause. What would that mean, Mother Kharmyshia? If the Louisiana Act violates the Supremacy Clause, what would that mean? What would that mean?
It is unlawful, unconstitutional.
Exactly.
Yo, did you put that link into
this
the
one?
other? Yeah.
No, I didn't. Hold on.
Yeah, just copy, put that in the chat, yo. That one and the one before, so that with the 555. Because you already know, since we're recording, when I send this to us, when I send the Zoom link to each other, you see what I'm saying? We'll all have record of not only the audio, but we'll have the visual, and we'll have what we typed in the chat as part of the record too.
Islam.
So that way, when Mother Kharmyshia, when this joint is over, when we start this particular recording, whatever, when Zoom let me know that the recording is ready, I'm gonna send you the link. You can download it to your computer. It's gonna be 3 files. It's gonna be the audio, the visual, the audio visual, which is the video, and it's gonna be what we typed in the chat. So you'll have the notings. So you go in, you said you got some other live head cancers that's got it. Cool. Y'all can repeat.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, so it's definitely a transformation from going from not knowing certain things to knowing things. So it's like there's no rush, except for, there is kind of a rush, but there's really no rush for any particular man or woman to, to like rush into this. It's not, don't rush into the information. Grasp the concepts. Right now, we're talking about case law. Why are we talking about case law? Because it's common law. What is common law? Well, that's stare decisis, res judicata. Do you know those terms, stare decisis and res judicata?
That's Mother Kharmyshia. Are you familiar with those terms?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
Are
Am
you
I familiar with
Are you familiar with the legal or lawful terms res judicata?
No.
Okay. You have a Black's Law Dictionary though, 4th edition, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And you have access to it now at Paducah Valley University also.
What did you ask me? Access to what?
I said you also have access to Henry Campbell Black's Dictionary because it's within Prophet Noble Valley University in your email.
Okay, yeah, because I have access to that.
Correct.
Yeah.
Actually have access to all the Henry Campbell Black's Law Dictionaries 1 through 9, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Other law dictionaries and law encyclopedias.
Res judicata facit ex albo nigrum, ex nigro, album ex curvo, rectum ex recto, curvum or curvum, a thing adjudged, a solemn judgment of a court, makes white, black, black, white, the crooked straight, the straight crooked.
Bet you the car. Ex elbow. Elbow. What was they calling black? Negrum. Elbow is white. Negrum is black.
funny, right? Albion.
And
Negro.
X means out of in Latin.
Pro veritate.
Veritate.
Archipatur. A matter adjudged. So it's already been, so you know, in law, there's status first, there's jurisdiction, then there's adjudication. Adjudication is them going through the motions of you know, going through the case. So that's them judging, that's them exercising jurisdiction over the matter and the person and the territory, right? So they shouldn't be adjudging anything with you because they shouldn't be getting past status and definitely shouldn't be getting past jurisdiction to be getting to make a judgment or to, you know, for it to become res judicata, because the only thing they could do is dismiss the case.
So res is a thing or a matter. Judicata is adjudged.
So a thing adjudged, a matter adjudged, right? So that would be your common law, your stare decisis. Let's pull up stare decisis or decisis, however.
Stare decisis, correct. ISIS, like ISIS, right?
I forgot the beginning part.
You can hit enter, but I think it's ISIS. But you're good though, bro.
Oh, wait. It probably is. I mean, it didn't even. Oh, there we go. Yep. All right. So here is the next word.
Stare decisis et non quieta movere.
To adhere to precedents and not to unsettled things which are established. So to adhere to precedents, like in the Altria group, Inc. versus Good, it's an established precedent that state laws that conflict with federal law or laws that conflict with the federal laws are preempted by the federal law. That's an established principle. That's an established precedent. That's stare decisis. That's common law, a common law decision that's already been made. Oh, matter of fact, see, look, they do have another one.
Yeah, see, stare decisis. It should be right there. I don't know why they do it. Just go.
Right above.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, here it is.
Exactly.
Perfect. You see that?
Read that, Mother Kharmyshia, please. You read that where it says stare decisis, Latin. LAT dot is Latin. Please read that.
Okay. Policy. Wait. You want me to read?
In the pink.
To abide by or adhere to decided cases.
Period. That's it.
Okay.
That's common. That's their decisis, and that's res judicata. They are related. Res judicata is a matter that's already been adjudged. which would mean that would be a case that's already been decided, so it would be stare decisis as well. So when we bringing up case law, it's not for no reason. It's because case law supports your legal or lawful position. It's used as a reference point to support your position. Okay. And I learned too that, you know, we shouldn't be in their venues filing motions and nothing like that. But if you get in a position where you're forced in a situation where the only way that you can be heard is by expressing yourself on their record, then when you file something, you make sure that you support what you're saying with law and citations, references pertaining to law, such as stare decisis or res judicata. Because then not only are you saying, okay, I'm saying this, and what I'm saying is supported by this law, and this law is supported by this stare decisis or this case law. See what I'm saying? Or this citation. Or this opinion. So it's not just me saying this, it's the law saying this, it's common law saying this, it's constitutional law saying this, your own state law is saying this. Shit, your court rules are saying this.
Bow, bow, bow. He's talking. Oh, that's so funny. Oh man, yo, bro, you're on it, bro. I yield, man. Bow, bow, bow. Oh yes, back to that. Oh, okay, you going to do the divine warning again? Yes, that would be so great to get that in. We was talking about person in the Black's Law Dictionary. Even though 34 is the sniper rifle. But yeah, go in. Goodness gracious, go in. Because we brought this up because we're like, those 14th Amendment instruments, oh, use your license so you don't miss out on your 5,000 notes to take care of you and your it's like maybe, just maybe people shouldn't have been, sellouts and really made sure that the people have what they need. I remember when Brother Taj said one time, your problem is that you're not teaching them. It's like that's really like, look, man, that's why I'm so glad. The highest title that I have is brother, despite whatever regalia I have on. Fuck that.
Yeah, so we get back here. The prophet told us.
Yeah. Go ahead, bro.
That the word Negro deludes in Latin language to the word nigger, the same as the word color. Ain't that funny? Because we just went in the Black's Law and seen nigum and album. The same as the word color deludes to anything that is painted, varnished, and dyed. And every nation must bear a national descent name of their forefathers, because honoring thy fathers and thy mothers, your days will be lengthened upon this earth.
Oh, hold
These
on.
names.
Just an emotional outburst referencing Prophet Noble Dryly there is citing Exodus chapter 20, verse 12, or Exodus degree 20, minute 12. I yield.
Yes, these names, Negro, colored, black, all those names that delude to slavery have never been recognized by any true American citizen of this day. However, through your free national name, you are known and recognized by all nations of the earth that are recognized by the said national government in which they live. The 14th and 15th Amendments brought the North and South in unit, placing the Southerners who were at that time without power with the constitutional body of power. And at that time, 1865, the free national constitutional law that was in force since 1774 declared all men equal and free, which means you're not a what?
Mother Kharmyshia.
I'm not a slave.
Exactly. So if you're not a slave, who can command you?
No fucking body.
And if all men are declared by the free national constitution to be free and equal, since that constitution has never been changed, there is no need for the application of the 14th and 15th Amendments for the salvation of our people and citizens.
Goodness gracious, he's a universal prophet. And his philosophy is universal. He just came to us Moors first because we needed him the most.
Straight up.
Right. So all persons, all corporations born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. So wouldn't it be wise to understand what person is being defined as here, and then where the United States is,
Yes.
and then what jurisdiction means, and then what, you know what I mean? Like, our people who just go to work and pay bills, they don't think about these things or how they're affecting their life. They know they're being oppressed. They know that their conditions suck and they could be better, but they don't have any clue on how they're going to shovel themselves from out the avalanche of lies that are unleashed upon them annually.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where Noble Drew Ali came and told you, hey, the names you're calling yourself dilute to slavery. And the 14th Amendment is for slaves, corporate fictions. And you're not any of that. You're a Moor. So honor your mother and father that your days might be long upon the earth, because my people perish by the day for a lack of knowledge.
Basic instructions before living everlasting life.
So in my mirror session, Brother Hasan told me, I don't know if he told me, I don't know, we were reading stuff, but it said that I would live past, I guess, like I would make it to old age. I don't know if you remember that, but we read like the example was some guy that lived, he was supposed to live to like 44 and he ended up living to like 47 or something. Anyway, that out there, you know, honoring my foremothers and forefathers, okay?
Because look, this is how I really, like, even for me, pardon me, I'm eating. However, for me, it's like Prophet Noble Drew Ali also expressly prescribed, if I can get you to think, you save yourself. Right here, right, is, if I may, Brother Aura, I'm going to screen share. You don't have to relieve it yet. Let me find the reference in the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary. And I'm going to have, because we read it yesterday in the jurisprudence gym.
Oh, you want me to pull up the bonding thing?
Yo, let's do baptism first, then the bonding code, and then we'll bring up the rivers of life so she can see. I have baptism already queued here. I should probably mark it.
I forgot what it was called, bro. Something bonding code?
The Uniform Bonding Act or Uniform Bonding Code is by famguardian.org. At least posted famguardian.org. Let me say that.
All right, I'll wait. You know what I mean? But I got it up already.
Islam. All right, and I'll do the screen share here for baptism. Let me actually make sure. For some reason, I just really want to highlight all of it. Like, fuck it, I'm gonna highlight the first damn paragraph. I don't even care. The first. All right. So you got that. Let's do baptism first, and then we definitely will do that. Share content. All right, Mother Kharmyshia, you about to be doing some reading. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's
Bro, I'm about to fast.
It's got you turned like that, Joe.
No, for real, bro. I'm about to do like a 3-day fast till Monday so I can get like, I just want to get in my zone again.
Jesus Christ. All right, Mother Kharmyshia, it's there in purple. I yield the floor to you, Islam.
All right, baptism. Is that Greek?
Yes.
All right. Metaphysical the baptism of repentance unto remission of sins, Luke 3:3,
Hmm.
which the church has made an outward form, is in fact a simple matter of thought training. The Greek word metaphysicalonia.
Well, it's supposed to be metanoia. In the Greek, it's metanoia, but for here, they got metaphysical noia. Meta means to change. Noia is your mind, changing your mind.
Okay.
What?
Metanoia is changing your mind.
Mm-hmm. And it says it's translated to mean what?
Repentance.
Mm-hmm. So we're like, repent. All he's saying is change your mind. Again, Prophet Noble Ali, he prescribes, if I could just get you to think, you'll save yourself. I yield. Go continue.
The repentance has been interpreted to mean an admission to God of sorrow for past sin and a resolve to be good in the future. It has been supposed that the field of action for that which is goodness in the sight of God is in conduct. Virtually the whole Christian world has in a measure failed to discern the teaching of the New Testament about mental laws, a proper preaching immersion in mentation, in mentation for the doing away with shortcoming. W. Lyman Abbott says that it is plain that the mission of John was to bring about a change of mind. The fundamental idea taught by the scriptures is not that man must know sorrow, but rather that he must undergo a change not merely of conduct, but of the thinking and immortal part of him.
Period. Now, I will say that you have access to this within Prophet Noble Ali University. I just think it's, you know, when you hit the search, when you go in there and find, so you go to Google Drive from your email or whatever, if you can. But when you go in your email, you just have to click on it or whatever if you can. If not, I'm going to say start a Google account, have a Google email, and I'll send it to that so that you can be able to access these things. Because all you got to do is just hit search within the drive and just type in METP, and it should bring up the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary by Charles Fillmore. So you can be able to go into this. Let me read. So water symbolizes, let me just do this because I'm loving it, right? Right, let's see. Okay, I'm gonna take it all the way down here. And we're gonna make this purple. Right?
That's because we both wearing purple.
Say it again.
That's because we both wearing purple. Mine kind of pink.
Oh wow, yeah, you do have one of purple. What does that say? City of what?
Angels.
Oh, got you. Los Angeles. Okay, got it. So, well, I mean, purple is just what we should be having this proper mindset ultimately, right? Because when the student is ready, the teacher appears. So water baptism symbolizes, you know, oh, I got my head dunked in the water by pastor. A cleansing process, a letting go. Hey, Cancer, the letting go of error. It is the first step in the realization pertaining to truth. It is the process pertaining to pouring into consciousness, the dissolving power pertaining to the word, which breaks up and washes away all thoughts of materiality. Hey, let's talk about that brainwashing, right? Because it's been dirty. This is the word in the form pertaining to denial. The word in the form of denial. So water baptism indicates a letting go attitude of thought, denial. Good. So you need to be denying the error is basically what's being said there. Spiritual baptism is positive, a taking on an affirmation. That's why we're 7HealStar Astrology firm, because we're taking on an affirmation, right? Spiritually. All growth takes place through these two attitudes. All growth takes place through these two attitudes. All growth takes place through these two attitudes. A letting go and a taking hold. That's very Cancerian there. Or denial and affirmation. First, we let go of old material concepts. We cannot get into the new consciousness until we let go of the old. The Holy Ghost, right, or that separated spirit, or that whole spirit, is the same as the Holy Spirit, or spirit of truth, the spirit pertaining to truth. When we have received a concept pertaining to the relation that we as spiritual beings have to call upon, right? That's what God is, right? The etymology for God is to call upon, and according to Veritas, it's constellations. The old state of thought is easily dissolved and washed away by that of which water baptism is symbolic. Denial. That's what it's saying, man. The water baptism is an outward expression of you denying some things that are not beneficial to you. Spirituality. Spirituality, again, is the art pertaining to breathing. And that breath that you're intaking is probably a calm one once you're no longer breathing like you're in fucking panic because someone's sending something through the post, talking about you deserve to be doing this specific performance. And we're like, well, where's my contract and oath of office? Because other than that, I've been cleansed. Thank you, Jesus. Let me stop. I'm just serious. So then there come into our mind ideas direct from the fountainhead, and we see everything in a new light. The baptism of the Holy Spirit quickens the whole mind, because man is mind. When the mind has received words of truth and the way is open for the healing power, which is called the Holy Spirit. That's why I say, bro, let's read this first before we go into that on the bonding act and then go into rivers of life. Or the spirit of wholeness, right? Because it's the Holy Spirit, right? To descend further into the body consciousness. This outpouring, we need an outpour of your spirit, right? By Dietrich Haddon, right? It's kind of just what I want to add there. This outpouring or inpouring of the Holy Spirit is the second baptism. Baptism, the spiritual cleansing pertaining to the mind, typifies the cleansing power and work of spirit that redeems minds from without, because in Moorish Latin, sin means without. It is the first step in the realization of truth. When the baptizing power of the word is poured on a center in consciousness, it dissolves all material thought. And through this cleansing, purifying process, the individual is, or the sentient being, is prepared to see and to discern spiritually. This is why we've been doing what we've been doing for the last couple of hours. For that purpose, for you, Mother Kharmyshia, and anyone else who ever comes in contact with this, to be prepared to see and discern spiritually. The two baptisms, those of John and Jesus, represent the two common steps in spiritual development, denial and affirmation, or the dropping of the old and laying hold of the new, right? Old body and mind, Old Testament, new body and mind, New Testamenty, right? In the first baptism, that of John, through the power of the word, the sense mind, the sense man, is erased from consciousness and the mind is purged. Talk about the purge, right? And made ready. Yes, I'm ready to learn, right? So you're ready for the second baptism, that of justice, right? Jesus is justice, Masonically speaking, correct? In the second baptism, the creative law of divine affirmation, the creative law pertaining to divine affirmation set into action by supreme man, right? Supreme mind lights its fire at the center of man's being, the center of man's being. And when thus kindled, raises soul and body to a high degree of God, because God means purity. Purity means God. God is the ruler of the land. I mean, that's white. White means purity. Purity is God. God is the ruler of the land. But I stand corrected. This process is known as regeneration. Isn't that Scorpio? Look at that. Look at that. Regeneration is a key term for Scorpio. Yeah. All right. I yield the floor to my beloved brother in whom I'm well. Please let me come back here. And I yield to you, Brother Aura, while you bring up the bonding act, and I will cue River, since I have it highlighted.
All right. Let's go. Cause I'm ready.
I know, right? I know, right?
Page 9. Oh wait, I was already on page 9.
Yes.
That's something. All right. Yeah. Legislative input. Input definitions and principles. Wait, is this page 9 on the page too? Yeah, it is. Okay, cool.
Mm.
All right. So this is it. And you know, I gotta. Oh, I ain't got this downloaded. I think I do have it downloaded, but my apologies. I'm just going to open it in a different version so I can actually highlight.
It's fine. Uniform bonding code.
Oh, it's still not letting me do it. What's going on here? Close this. That's weird. Okay, whatever. We ain't highlighting. I'll just use this.
Sweet.
All right. So words called terms are used to construct the ships of state called statutes.
Wow.
I'm gonna read that again. Words called terms are used to construct the ships of state called statutes. When the terms are not properly defined, the statutes become like ships without rudders. They move easily in any direction and do all manner of damage on the rivers of life.
Yikes.
The rudder being that which assists the ship in navigating, right? Without the rudder, the wind is blowing it any direction, and the ship is liable to wreck into anything. So they're using this analogy for statutes. The legislature creating statutes that are not properly defined leaves a lot of room for discretion and interpretation. And then that discretion and interpretation is left to these people who are holding whatever office they're holding as a so-called judge or whatever they want to call themselves tomorrow. They have a lot of discretion when it comes to certain statutes. And that's because things are not being properly defined. When the terms are not properly defined, the statutes become like ships without rudders. They move easily in any direction and do all manner of damage on the rivers of life. Terms without definitions are the daggers of law. So I'm gonna pause right there and let you pull up the rivers of life.
Rivers of life, here I go, man. I started making my second plate, but I got you. I got you, Prosky Dosky. Let me share content. All righty, screen and start broadcast. Let's do it, iPadis. And I hit that. And then I go here. And then I'm going to ask Mother Kharmyshia to read River.
I think she might have. She might have yielded, or I don't see her as a participant anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she might have got lost connection or had to yield. I'm not sure.
No, well, probably her phone probably died because she, it probably wasn't charging. However, let's continue this for the record, because that way we're going to at least send it to her. So this is what I'll do here. River, metaphysical, the metaphysical definition for river, a current pertaining to thought. Wow, if I could just get you to think you can save yourself, or a current pertaining to vital forces pertaining to life. Yes, a current of thought or a current of vital forces of life. The quote unquote river of Genesis 2:10, that is degree 2, minute 10, or chapter 2, verse 10, symbolizes the current of life in the organism, right? Garden, right? That's Eden, right? Garden of Eden, garden pertaining to delight, right? Now, river of life, what's that? It's the source of all, pardon me, of the natural healing impulse that constantly, not sometimes, not intermittently, that constantly constantly reconstructs the organism. When a mind, when a man in faith makes intimate connection between his mind and the process which mother chooses, right? The father's, right? Between his mind and the father's mind, he enters into the river of life, the river pertaining to life, the current pertaining to thought, the current pertaining to vital forces.
Yeah, that's like, man, I'm thinking like after the 3-day fast, that's where I'm gonna be at. I'm gonna be in the river of life.
Islam. Hold on, I'm getting a tag here. Okay, cool. And he has the ability to take others with him into the waters that cleanse, purify, and vitalize. Look at Astro Cookie.
Cleanse, purify, and vitalize.
And let me
cleanse, purify, and vitalize. Cleanse, purify, and vitalize.
Copy. Jesus Christ. I'm gonna stop my share, bro. I'm gonna put that in the chat, man. Seriously. And paste. Boom. Right? And that's in the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary. So, there's all, references here. Everything's recorded for the dimensions to come, term the future. People can, the sentient beings that will witness this can pause, and stop or screenshot or find the referencing to which we're quoting here. And I think we did well. We can get started we can probably take a little break and then come on back because, I'm going to have to close this on out so that Zoom can process it. I'm going to open another Zoom, Brother Ara, and then we can do our brief presentation. We're going to review mainly when it comes to just going. I think we should practice. That's what I think, because even my spirit is like, just practice that a little more. And remember, I did put the 9th class into the drive, so it's there when you go see it. As well as going to make sure that what we do in this class today, we're going to review having the glyphs, right, with the aspects, so that we can comprehend further pertaining to our astroliteracy comprehension. Any questions, comments, and/or suggestions, beloved brother?
Nah, bro, just it's an honor to do class with you, bro. Islam.
Man, look, it's a supreme honor for me also, man, to do class with you, because it's like that third brain just pops up, you know what I'm saying? It's just me, you come together. So supreme honors to our beloved Prophet Noble Ali. I guess we'll sign off here. You'll know once I close this out in this, I'm gonna go right to the main computer, open another instance of Zoom, so we can get right on our Astro Literacy Comprehension Conference. And thank you to all the mothers. It's funny, I was just about to say thank you to all the mothers, because I know my beloved mother, Mistress Consort, she was listening the whole time. You know what I'm saying? So thank you to the mothers that have been attentive. Mother Kharmyshia, we're doing our closing here, but what we can do, if you want, you wanted to be here for the Astro Literacy Comprehension Conference portion, you can come back in, because I'm going to close this out in this meeting completely, so that we can be able to start the next instance, because I want this to begin to render. Alrighty, I want this video to begin to render, so that when it emails me like, hey man, that video is ready, and I'm like, yes, and then I can send you and Brother Aura and my beloved Mother Mistress Consort, and well, please, the links so you guys can review at any time you want. And Mother Kharmyshia, you can share it with your live head cancer mothers that you referenced earlier, right? You questions, comments, or suggestions for us? I know the end you might have missed, but you're not, because you're going to get the recording. So any questions, comments, and or suggestions for us?
Well, Islam, and I truly appreciate y'all taking me through the science, not just, you know, don't follow them because they said this. So I appreciate y'all, like, really, you know, sticking to the truth.
Islam. I mean, we appreciate you also because it's your purity, it's your pure heart, sincere intent, your love, and your honor for you and your loved ones that even allow you to be able to even hear us, let alone tolerate it for the time that you've been here to do it. So it's divine. It truly is divine. Any other questions, comments, and or suggestions? Like I said, when I close this out, you guys come right on back in. I'm going to go and open up a new instance of Zoom from the main computer. If there's no other questions, comments, and or suggestions, I'm going to say happy holy degree to you, beloved Muslims, and all beloved Muslims that may see this in the dimensions to manifest, term the future. And Islam to you all. Alrighty, Islam.
Peace and love. Happy Holy Day.
Peace and love.